I am on a mission to dig out a huge cave system in this mountain to be a new dungeon here on Misadventures, completely transforming the inside of it into a massive network of tunnels full of traps, challenges, and boss fights. The dungeon entrance has already been built up from the last episode, with this opening between the rocks, leading up to a small campsite and the actual dungeon entrance right back there. I've spent over 60 hours on this video between planning and building, so please click the like button as it helps me out a ton, and let's make our first dungeon. Well, I make my way over to Marryport. Let's get caught up on a few things that have happened between episodes. First off, I'm working on increasing my Marryport rep, so I have been doing a ton of quests, like diving into the iron mine here to get a bunch of iron to bring home and smelt for the smith. After that, I decided I would spend a few hours in the resource world picking up loads of materials to build up my dungeon, as I really plan to be doing that this episode, so I mined out many tough blobs underground, going down multiple times to fill up a shulker box of it and bring it back home, along with as much deep slate as I could fit in my inventory. A quick update back here in storage, we've got a decent amount of cobble deep slate and a load of tuff, almost an entire double chest full. This isn't half bad, but it definitely can't fill out an entire cave. To help with that, I also spent far too long staring into the basalt, gathering up a load of this at my little farm, where this right here is gonna help a ton with building out the cave. We can drop Chestnut here off in the Marryport stables and head on into town, where it looks like there's a few rats that have been dropped out here and some horses. Oh, Lena, you've got a lot to take care of now. But that is not who we are here to see, as in this house right up here, you can see the name tag for Lady Talia. And Lady Talia loves to gossip, so much that they now sell a book of reputations. I've already bought one, so I don't need to buy another one, but actually, anytime that I change my rep and I want to check it again, I've got to buy a book. But inside of this book, we can see here that it will be showing exactly me as my player and how much reputation I have, where Marryport, we actually have 185 reps, so it's not going super well, because accidentally I completed a quest and now we have 25 rep with the Scarlet Veil, and Orchidians, we have 8,750 rep. I think they like all my enchanted golden apples. And then also, not really most importantly, but here we have Molly at negative 1,532 rep. So that's just a good little update on where our standings are with everybody. I did notice that the fishing club is not included in that, but you know, I'm sure we're very, very far up there. So hopefully we can see that number included soon. Jimmy has recently asked me to build some more palm trees for him, so it's time to get to work. Starting off today is going to be a lot about trees. I didn't really plan for any of that, but a lot of projects have fallen into my lap that revolve around trees. And you know what? I'm pretty happy to be doing them. Actually, Chestnut, you're gonna hang out here, as I need my Soktacho, and off to the resource world. I need to get some birch leaves as well as some jungle leaves, and hopefully we can come across those easily. There we go. That should be enough birch leaves to get us through a few trees. Now to find this jungle. This took me on an adventure a few thousand blocks out from where I spawned into the resource world, across the ocean and into a savanna biome where I stopped to gather some acacia leaves and logs as I'll need them later on. Then finally out to a sparse jungle that I almost completely destroyed the entire thing for all of the leaves and picked up a few stacks of logs too. Found a panda friend out here, and I found that, which is going to entirely derail the first project I had in mind today. I mean, we're still gonna do it because it'll look cool, but that makes it completely redundant. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. It's totally fine. Totally fine. After we get Jimmy's trees built up, I want to work on a custom dark oak biome that's going to actually, oh, right, we need no, you don't need Soak Touch. Wow. Back in Marryport, where I decided to take a break and fish up 2 stacks of Marryport salmon and another name tag. But more importantly, my hoe is completely repaired with mending. Now, also very cool, here in my house inside the stables, I got 4 chests, and we got a decorative fish barrel, 50 small drip leaf, we got a bunch of kelp, and another decorative fish barrel, a third decorative fish barrel, and another ton of small drip leaf, and an angler pottery sherd, and again, more small drip leaf. That is 2 stacks and 8 small drip leaf, and this little thing here is so absolutely adorable. We'll put one down right over here. Just say, look, we're kind of fishing by this. Look at that little barrel with some fish on top. Oh, it's so good. But anyways, we've got a job to do. Taking us all the way out to Jimmy's Island Casita Bonita. He needs more palm trees, where he mentioned wanting a few trees back in this corner between these two structures. So I'm thinking we could go maybe 2 over here and then a few, maybe just one big one right here. And that should be enough to add in for now. We can always come back and add more later. Jimmy requested 2 palm trees close enough to add a hammock between them for him to rest at, and left the rest up to me to decide. And I think we have a pretty good balance going along the back of the island. And that should do it. 4 more trees in here. I didn't want anything too dense, and we do have a direct 5-block diagonal between these two. And then a little bit more off, 6 blocks between these. I'm sure he can figure out a way to get a hammock up there. I'll be sure to send him my invoice for 4 trees, and it's time to head on back home, as we are on to the next set of trees to build. This time, we're building on one of my own projects. For my cave dungeon, I really want to use pale oak logs to help texture the walls, and well, I thought it'd be a great excuse to build something as a new way to obtain the logs. Across from the Road Builders Guild, we have a dense dark oak forest. Now, I know the Pale Garden is something that is its own biome, but to me, it's always made sense as a dark oak forest that comes to life at the night. And well, I was thinking out here in the middle of this dark oak forest, the heart of the forest, what if there was something watching the player? A creaking. This is already set up to land a purchase. There we go, just over 10,000 coins, and we now own this section of the Dark Oak Forest. And I think we can transform it as something really, really cool for a custom forest that when it gets to be nighttime, some creaking in the whole environment might change. First up, we need to change the environment for ourselves by clearing out a large section of trees in the middle of the forest, making sure to save all of the leaves and logs, as those are going to be extremely useful later for rebuilding this, as that was a ton of materials that I can just put directly back into making the build even better. So I made a quick trip back home to craft down the rest of what I needed and was able to get nearly straight into working. The only thing that I did have to run out to the resource world to gather was a few spruce leaves, which thankfully were right at the spawn, so that I could prep the ground foliage around our new forest and get the base area sorted out. Before jumping into build up some big old trees, I am happy with the design of these first few coming together using our dark oak materials and deep slate for some darker branches, as that's what the best fit that I could think of. With the full canopy on top, I think it actually works out fairly well for what we have available in the game. So with our test trees in place, I sped around building up an entire dark oak forest to finish off the point of interest. And I am extremely happy with how this has turned out, but we are still missing something for the forest. If you guessed more trees, you are correct. I do indeed need more types of trees in the forest, so I ran around building up a few small birch trees like you'd find in a normal Minecraft dark oak forest, which I think that now really completes the look that we're going for here, and I'm happy with it. I have spent the last hour or so in the resource world trying to find a pale garden, and I missed it yesterday. Apparently it was the spawn, and it's so frustrating. But I've had no luck finding eye blossoms, as I wanted to dot a few throughout the forest to give the vibe during the day that this is going to be a spooky pale garden at nighttime. But I think even without those, this can be ready to turn over to the admins, as I think the atmosphere we were able to create here right now is really, really cool. And I already have a version of this world prepped and ready to go to hand to Lizzie that has all of these big old dark oak trees, pale gardenified, and I'm just really ready for the players to get in here and actually see it and use it. It's gonna be so cool. If you haven't heard, the goal is for creaking to be able to spawn in here, so they would spawn, but they're not like normal creaking. They're ones that you can actually fight, like think a zombie that's like tree powered. But in the meantime, while that gets sorted, I have so many materials to gather for the dungeon build as I've finished planning it, and I need to go ask people on the servers for some help. I've already spent a few different evenings in the resource world gathering up materials from pointed dripstone to so much tuff, all of the different types of deep slate, and even some cobble and everything else I can find mixed in. And back at the base now, we've got a decent amount of stone. We've got none there, it's empty. Deep slate's looking okay. Tuff is looking pretty good. And regular silk touch deep slate's good. And we definitely need more of everything else. So I'm thinking I take my empty shulker boxes around, as there's people online who like to grind a lot of resources, and maybe I can either purchase some or we can just get some stuff for free. That'd be great. Come on, Chestnut, we're on a mission. I took a trip over to my neighbor's carnival to see if Shelby could donate any goods to the dungeon project, which turned out to be a great idea.
I have an infinite amount of cobble. I have so much cobble. I've been doing a lot of landscaping. I have so much dirt too. Oh no, my inventory.
I mean, I'll take dirt. Anything you're willing to part with. I need lots of all of it. So yeah.
Okay, you can have this much dirt.
Ooh, thank you. Oh, you're the best. So I just need a little help.
For
Are you able to mine these?
Oh, oh, why? Are you trying to leave?
No. I just like figured I'd pick them up before I forgot, you know.
Oh, oops, sorry.
Oh, ow.
That wasn't a threat.
Do I get a discount now? I gotta limp over to my horse. I'm so in pain. This carnival.
Sorry, this is a construction zone. You're not covered.
I decided to load up my shulkers from my storage room that I have back here with all of the leftovers, and I've nearly filled every single shulker that I own. We can find Chestnut flying inside here. All right, buddy, we've got a job to do. I've got 5 diamond blocks, and I need to go get some more shulker boxes from the crypt. Here's number 1, 2, 3, 4. And number 5. I've got all of my shulker boxes now, and of course, there were 6 people online when I started that, and now it's just Avid, so I may go bother him. In the meantime, I can get some money here from Esperanza. Avid is currently out in the nether, but he said I could stop by and take pretty much anything I wanted rocks-wise from his storage room, and I believe I have build access. Yes, I do. He did say I could take whatever, so I'll repay him later if he needs stuff back. This is like the best shopping experience I've ever been on. It's all free. Take whatever I want. Take a little bit of this because I need to bone meal some later. Oh, this is fantastic. I'm just helping relieve his storage problem. That's what we're doing here. Back at the mountain now, and I have something very cool to share. It is completely hollow. Look at that. Look at this big old wide open space in here. No. I have not spent hours off camera mining this out. No, I'm not even going to claim that I did that. Lizzie is willing to help us save quite a few hours of our time, and to make underground projects not as scary, she's willing to clear out underground spaces for us with the admin account, so we don't only build above ground, as it would just be a lot quicker. So this way, the project that I want to do in here, we can get started on building it right away. And by right away, I mean I still need a few thousand more blocks in order to even start building this place. I've got 4 empty shulkers here, and I need to fill almost all of them. Well, that's already halfway full. Oh boy. Of course, the resource world spawn is a giant mesa when for once I don't need anything out of a mesa. And there's a coral reef right over here. Even better. Okay, where's the cave? Here we go. First thing I need is about an entire shulker full of tuff, so I'll be down here for a while. Oh man, I didn't find any. Digging down, I luckily found a big old blob of tuff I was able to mine out fairly quickly, and fell into a cave below that had a few mobs, but more importantly, even more blobs of tuff blocks. I've also dug out this entire trench of deep slate here, so we've got a full shulker of tuff and a good amount of cobbled deep slate that I think might be enough for what I need to at least get started. And then I need to grab my tools shulker box with me here and grab the silk touch, trade that out. Ooh, this is only efficiency 4. Oh, that's gonna be slower. Oh no. But I need to get a lot of silk touch deep slate too, so I'll be here for a little while longer. The shulker monster now uses all of my shulkers, so I grabbed a few extra chests that I can just throw down over here, and we can start filling these instead. Alrighty there, cleared out quite a few of these boxes now, and I've got another 6 that I can fill up, and hopefully I don't need to do all of that. Back out in the resource world, and of course I find a pale garden out here, so I'm just gonna pick up these so I can have them, but a little too late. And I might as well take that guy. I also need a piece of rooted dirt, as I want a lot of hanging roots in the cave, and outside of that, I just need to find a way down, and I don't really want to dig that because I'm trying to save durability here. We can find a cave. We should get down into the mossy area eventually, as I need a lot of moss. I saw light and I got excited. Oh. I really should have repaired this diamond hoe before I came out here, as that is, 46 durability left on this thing. I think I can clear out the rest of the ceiling, but not nearly enough moss as I need. There we go. That is just over 900 moss. That's at least like a decent amount to get started. The only problem is I just need to turn it all into mossy cobblestone. I've got a decent amount of cobble back here, but I also need regular, so I'll just craft down what I can for now, and then it's back to the mines for me. That's a pretty healthy amount of mossy cobble. I can at least get started with it, I think. This one's gonna hurt a little bit. Oh, actually only 5 levels. Oh, great, perfect. I was fully ready to have to make a brand new one, but also on this guy, we're gonna throw Silk Touch on the shovel. And that right there is the perfect sight to see when I get out here. Oh, I need so much gravel. Oh yeah, here we go. There's a full shulker of gravel for us, and that should hopefully be more than enough. I've crafted a ton of stuff down here, and the mess is growing even further, where I've tried to start organizing it just a little bit as I'm moving around, but I'm not even close to being done yet. I put all those extra double chests up there so that I could clear more shulkers to be able to work with those, and oh my god, why did I pick this big of a dungeon to build? It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so fun to run, but oh my gosh, it's gonna be a pain to build. Oh, jeez. That was not a safe location at all in the resource world. What happened there? I started gathering some cobblestone from the area here without realizing my pickaxe was nearly broken. Very thankful I noticed before this one broke on me, but we gotta head back home and hopefully repair it. And I've actually got a few stops we can make in the overworld here. I'd rather not actually spend the time right now finding a way to repair it, so let's see if we can just add a second pickaxe to it. I've got plenty of diamonds. How many levels is that gonna cost? Ooh, only 9? Okay. It's a max enchanted one anyways with mending, so it doesn't matter. And I've still got 22 blocks and a stack of diamonds almost. From here, I jumped on Chestnut and headed up north to the abandoned iron mine to gather up a few stacks of raw iron for smelting, as I need quite a few little decoration bits and need to do something other than mine more cobble and moss right now. That iron is all smelted up. Let's grab our tools so we can just use it to repair a little bit here. And now let's go with that. And I need to make a ton of chains. Honestly, I'll use a full stack eventually. And a good amount of lanterns while I'm here. Some iron bars so we can make a big old gate. We obviously want people to get trapped inside the boss room. And I've got a little bit of story I want to tell in there through blocks. So for this, we need to grab a hopper and a grindstone to help, as we'll get to it later. But I've always thought this can kind of look like a big drill. That'll tie in soon. I've just logged back in after a little bit of a break here, and we need Chestnut again, as Drift has been absolutely awesome and apparently set out a few shulker boxes of materials. I asked people on the server if they had anything they'd want to donate or I could buy off of them, and well, Drift apparently has a bunch of extra moss, cobblestone, and dirt that I can grab. The only problem here is in Cultland, I'm not too sure which house is Drift's. It's either that one or this one. Oh, she did say there'd be shulker boxes right inside the door. Yeah, Chestnut, oh, okay, I guess Chestnut can't hang out here. Why can't you hang out here? Okay, there we go. And yep, this is probably it. Oh, yes, that's gonna help a lot. Oh, this is so nice of them. I still need a lot more moss, but this is at least a great step in the right direction. And I'm gonna just mark an iron ingot with a IOU or Drift. We're just gonna put that in parentheses so nobody else trades that around. Back over here and dropped off all of the dirt, and the last things that I need are, well, some more moss. So let's actually, where do I have some extra blocks? Here we go. Okay, we're gonna take that with us. The last items I need are moss, grass, which we can get right up here with some shears and all of the iron ingots we got, and then I need a lot of glow lichen. There goes the first shears. Ran through another 2 shears here, but that should be just over 500 short grass, and I think that can get me through. Final materials remaining to go at least to get started on the bulk of the project. I moss mined up a good portion of the cave before jumping back to the overworld where Sausage was online. He said I could stop by his base for some materials, and he ended up supplying me with tons, and I mean tons, of tough moss and cobblestone. Happy days, happy days, happy days. We could do it. We could finally start building the dungeon. It just took 3 more final boxes, but this mess right here, that is it. Time to turn this into a dungeon. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. Alrighty. To make this dungeon into something very special, I have planned the entire thing in a creative copy of this world, and now I'm using Lightmatica as a way to bring it back into this world of Misadventures. I have a very cool plan in mind for the dungeon, with our first room here being a jumping puzzle of sorts with a spike pit to fall down into. I have my gamma cranked up crazy high right now, so it's definitely very dark in here, as that's what I normally play at. This is what I use for dungeons, and for building, I'm all the way up at 800% right now. And also, more importantly about realizing I forgot to put lights in here is I forgot to get glow lichen in general, so I need to get a lot of this stuff, and we can use this little corner right here, and that'll let us harvest 3 at a time. But my plan as we're in a cave is to have the more natural areas of our cavern that don't have a human element to them to be purely lit with glow lichen, as I think it would make it look a lot more natural and just more fun and add some extra contrast in here. All right, there's just over 2 stacks. This should be enough to get me at least through the first few tunnels. This will all be blocked off when we're done building, so you can think of 2 black concrete blocks here, so it'll actually make the front much darker. But inside you have a little bit of like a tent, and maybe somebody got lost in the cave and they're kind of camping out here. And then we're using the light to signify maybe routes that you'll want to travel down. And then we have our jumping puzzle going from here. You can use this to get over to that side, or you can go up the corner, get up here, and go down this route. Very, very nice rest of the dungeon. I want to add a little bit more glow lichen over here to really illuminate this one. But something fun that we're going to do in a moment is I'm going to be hiding water sources like this, and those are going to help guide players through the dungeon. So the water sources aren't always going to be here, but for now I need those water buckets, as we have to come down here and definitely clutch that. Yeah, definitely clutch that one. We need to really fill in a lot of this space with water, I think for the bottom 2 blocks, so that we can create our spike pit for people to fall into if they miss the jump. And now with the first room completed, it's more of a safe place to start out, as long as you don't fall into the pit. If that does happen, we do have a few ways that you can jump out to get up on the edge, so you can keep on going in the dungeon. It's not just game over from there. There is one more room that I want to add attached to the front that's going to be a little bit of a secret and kind of harder to get to, because you can bonk your head on that, so you got to really lean it over there, and then you actually have to crouch to get through this point. And I have a little bit of digging to do, as this was missed, so I've got to dig out this stretch back here, as I want to throw a little secret treasure room in here that will only be open sometimes that you're inside the dungeon. My main goal with the dungeon was to create a dynamic dungeon that doesn't feel the same with each run, so small rooms like this can add a lot. All right, I missed the jump so many times when I was going over here that I just installed the cobblestone. But this little side room, which will probably be blocked off occasionally with a boulder, like right about here, so you actually can't get in, but it's now complete and it's looking really cool. And I like how it's come together, and we do have our first chest of the dungeon hidden right over here. I don't know if Lizzie's gonna keep all of them, but I'm gonna put them in a place where I think that they should be, and then she can handle that as she wishes when she's actually flushing the dungeon out. I decided for now to just go around with an inventory full of dirt to place down as much of that as I could for the remaining dungeon rooms, to get rid of at least 1 material from the absurd list that I have. As I don't know if I've mentioned it, but half of this cave is going to be inhabited by large brown bears that players must fight through. Battling between the different layers of an underground forest, they'll keep encountering big bears and cubs as they try and work their way to finding a lever hidden in the remnants of an unfortunate traveler's camp that's set up inside of the cavern. Also, unfortunately, it's a little bit darker in here than I originally intended, as I wanted some skylight. I drilled a hole all the way up to be able to get some natural Minecraft light coming in, and that spruce tree right there is blocking it completely. Really wishing I had a light or some ender pearls right now, because I need to walk around. Alrighty, where is my hole? It's gotta be back over here somewhere. This looks like it. Yes, there we go. Now I just need to really not fall down and get rid of the spruce tree. Oh, I actually need a lot of stripped logs, so I'm just gonna strip these as I go. I think I needed about 100 of them, so that's actually pretty close. Nice. And that's, of course, gonna stop it from decaying. Oh, annoying. That is looking much lighter in there now. Much better. Okay, and now kind of safe, definitely safe fall. We have the underground forest with a bunch of custom trees just kind of dotted around and a lot of foliage on the roof. And then there's a secret little passage back here that leads into a second smaller bear cave that also I might need to get rid of some leaves. No, I just need to get rid of that block. And we have this little point where they need to flick this lever. I purposely don't want to share everything as I know other creators will be watching this from the server and I don't want to give it all away. And I know some of you are going to spoil everything in their comments anyways. So yeah, I see you writing notes to tell your favorite creator how to win at this dungeon. Yeah, I see you. Anyways, moving on to the other side, we have the hallways leading into the bandit camp. We're fast forwarding a little bit here. This hallway is fully detailed out and leading into the bandit camp that is currently a little empty in here, but it is now looking like a cave instead of a giant stone box. I also carved this all the way out to the surface so we could get some natural light in here to help with the whole lighting scheme we have going on. And the tunnel connecting our two side passageways is now fully hooked up. So you can come all the way throughout here through the middle. That right there leads into our bear cave. This right here is going to lead into the next points of the dungeon, and we're going to have a big old door right along here. So you have to complete the bear dungeon section, you have to complete the bandit camp section, and then you can come through here. And there's also a secret little right down there. I've still got a ton of details to throw here in for the bandit camp itself to, actually make it look like a bandit camp. And I thought coming out this direction could be a very, very fun place. If we just keep digging here for just a moment. Aha! We are through to the sky, to the outside. I thought they could have a blocked off back doorway just to give the idea that they're moving in and out of the cave in their own direction instead of the more secretive route that we came into the dungeon from. I've cleaned up our entrance a little bit here, and now we can actually install the doorway, which is just going to be 4 of these sticking up and then 4 right over here too, just to create a little bit of like an offset entrance. And then we're going to bring in a little bit of this action here to create that actual archway. And then for the doorway, it's going to be completely made out of our trapdoors, making sure to just stack these up in here using the oak in the middle with, let's go with 2 rows of oak trapdoor. And we can top it off with our spruce trapdoors, as I don't want anybody to be able to sneak in here. And they can kind of get a little glimpse in, maybe do some reconnaissance as they're looking around, trying to scope out the dungeon before they go in, but they can't actually get through this. Then grabbing our spruce fences and spruce slabs, and we can get into some detailing too with some barrels like right over here. And then I'd like to make it look like there's a little bit of an overhang out here, just kind of cutting off some of that light. And we get something like this that I think looks really, really cool. So when you're wandering by, you'll be like, wait, what the heck is that over there? Kind of want to come and scope it out. I definitely got to make sure Lizzie removes the ability for people to use trapdoors in this area. Otherwise, they can definitely slide their way in. But okay, I have spent far too long inside of this dang cave. It looks so absolutely cool, but I need to do something else for a little bit. I've been building this for 2 days straight IRL. And it's just been a lot of block placing and building. So I need to go block place and build somewhere else for a little while. The atmosphere in here when it's so dark, oh, it feels so good. Oh, it's so cool. I kind of want to run the dungeon when it's actually finished at this level. It'd be so fun. A while ago, I met up with Shelby as I commissioned her tailoring shop for a new set of threads to use when road building. She came through and delivered an absolutely awesome new outfit for me to use when road building and surveying all of the different road projects on the server. So it's time to put that into action.
You said you wanted to look less like one of the guys getting down and dirty and more like one of the guys making the rules.
Like I'll lean on a shovel, just like casual on the side, be like, yeah, great job. What if we did it like a block to the left, Yeah, that
somebody's got to do that work. It's a tough job.
The overseer, very important to the whole thing to happen. Oh yeah, I'm feeling great now. Let's pick up all of our empty shulker boxes we have over here now and go get to work. Back at the road builders now, we've got quite a few jobs on the board. With this one, Isla Bonita, I have already surveyed. This goes all the way out to Jimmy. Sausage has actually completed a huge chunk of the road going all the way out there. We have to build the bridge though. And the second one that we're gonna be looking at today is we have the Iron to Space, which is a road going all the way up to Avid's base. This one is going to be connecting from our main road here towards Catherine's Bridge and then swooping up all the way along the curve to actually reach into Avid's base itself, where it looks like he has some pathways we can connect to. We will be back at the dungeon very soon to finish the build. I just need to hit a break for a while. First up, into another dungeon, the sewers, to feed rats for experience to repair up my tools. Then I jumped out into the resource world for the first mini project back underground to gather up even more tough blocks, because apparently this is a break from all of the tough in my dungeon. This one does include the sky, however. We are finishing off Jimmy's road project with the final bridge addition needed to connect his Isla Bonita to the rest of the server officially via a road. And I gotta say, this thing turned out to be pretty good for a random bridge that I didn't really plan out. I do want to keep grabbing up my road project, so I stopped by the Road Builders Guild to pick up a new road, this time connecting out to Avid's base. We lucked out today in the resource world as the spawn was right next to a mangrove swamp, so I decided to spend some time stocking up on 2 shulker boxes of mud. Well, it was so easy to gather so that I could have it for this road project, and future ones should hopefully have some extra. Then, of course, I needed to stop by the fWhip family farms to harvest up even more wheat to turn a load of my newly acquired mud blocks into some beautiful packed mud. This road for Avid actually connects to Catherine's Bridge first, so I brought it down the mountain to our river, then connected up another smaller diagonal bridge to the north side heading towards Avid's base. This is looking pretty good with our little hatchback coming down the hill up there, and we have connected in Catherine 99% of the way, so that's great. I just don't really have access to break these blocks right now, so I can't finish it for her. Avid's road, however, isn't quite done yet. But I would really like to get back to the dungeon, and he's on vacation for a few days, so I got plenty of time. We'll get back to it later. Oh, Catherine's on. Maybe I can finish her road for her. And I got permission. Yay, road's in. Back to the dungeon we go. Right back into building, I decided I would finish off the bandit portion of the caves next, as that's where we left off. This entails building up some platforms and a campsite to really show that they're actually living in the space. To represent our bandits, I want to go with pillagers, so I'm thinking we could have a pillager with a crossbow like right in the tower there as like a little lookout around the campground. But I absolutely love it where we actually have a full campground right here in the middle with the smoke from the campfire going directly up out into the night sky, which is so very fun. They've got so much extra supplies and things around here. A little platform up there, a little platform over there, and then a little sleeping area here where I didn't want to do actual beds so players couldn't actually, you know, sleep on them, as I don't know if that would ruin their spawn or something like that if they die. So instead, we've got a few little spaces around here where we'll just have bandits hanging out probably. And I did have to think about mob pathing AI, so I couldn't use trapdoors here as they would just run into them. So unfortunately, we're stuck with the fences. But the lever to open up the other half is going to be that guy right there. And then if you follow the water, as we're doing throughout the rest of the dungeon, kind of reveals a bit of a secret, where I have extended the bandit cave back into the bandit event room, is what I'm calling it. And well, we have 3 chains hanging down here above a pit that I need to fill with some lava. If we are thinking about the enemy of pillagers, well, they kind of hate villagers in Minecraft, right? And we don't really have a way to work with villagers inside of the Minecraft world. So I wanted to create a bunch of cages out here where we can kind of do that with a little bit of a gamified version. This is out here just to show some extra cages. And then I've got 3 chains out here for 3 more cages. My hope for this one here is that I can work with Lizzie to create a randomized system where every time you come into the dungeon, there's gonna be 3 random villagers out here. We'll just let that cobblestone drop down into what's supposed to be a lava pit. And then over here, we have 3 buttons. You get to pick which villager you want to save. So you can see their profession that they have. You can earn all your emeralds by fighting all of the pillagers out there. Maybe some vindicators, I don't know, be a little difficult. And then you can come in here and you can be like, you know, that's a librarian. Let's save that guy. And then the other 2 would unfortunately fall into the pit of lava down at the bottom. Hopefully, you know, maybe he might clip on the edge there, but hopefully not. And then you could come up here and that would open up and remove this top trap door, and you can reach the dude to talk to him and trade with him from here, I hope. But that alone will offer a ton of replayability for this dungeon, as you might be hunting for that librarian who has a mending book trade. And if you get super lucky and get a mending librarian out there, that could be huge. And then you might want to stay in the dungeon for a really long time to actually farm up the resources to get out and purchase everything you need. Instead, most dungeons are currently geared towards let's run it as quickly as possible and get done as quickly as possible. I wanted to create a dungeon that actually rewards the player for sticking around inside for a little while. Speaking of which, though, we need to figure out what the exit of the dungeon's gonna look like, and I got the dirt down here. I just got a lot more cave to build. We are on the home stretch now for the Bear Cave Dungeon, which really needs a better name, but that'll come after I wrap up this final fighting chamber, the Tunnel of No Return leading into the boss room, and the boss room itself. I ran out of stuff. And this last room, this is the boss room. And I ran out just before finishing the walls. I even made some time to come back through here and start updating what's leading out the exit point, and these are gonna be your final loot chests. And yeah, I need to fix that up too. And then you'll kind of come out over this way, and you'll exit out here to a back exit. And I can't get up here. It's okay, I fix. I need to move these 2 dark oak planks in right here to seal off the exit chamber, but those are just there to remind me that I need to do it. And my thought is once they cross this line, the big boss will spawn right in here, the gate will shut down, and you can't get out. But also on that note, I've had some temporary stone blocks in here just so I can get up, but this is also going to be a point of no return. Once you drop down here, everything is a 2-block jump to get back up to the top, so nobody should be able to get back up here. So it's kind of saying once you leave this room battling all the creatures in this part of the cavern, then you're really, you know, going towards the final boss and exiting. Also, there's another little cheeky hidden chest right up here potentially that I threw in, so that's another difficult jump where you gotta line up on the outside of the wall to actually be able to make it. And this is my mess of stuff right now, and I think I need more cobblestone, and I'm almost out of moss. Oh, I was so close to finishing. And then also, yeah, this has to slide back into here. I finished up the little bandit camp. I made a giant drill as if they're like drilling in through, so I have a stair in there so you can kind of get a glimpse into this last room to show that the bandits were trying to get in here, but they didn't really realize you need to flip both levers in order to just get the door to open. Stupid, silly bandits. The treasures for the adventurers. I walked all the way out. I walked all the way out of the cave to realize I just need to go to the resource world with just that, and that'll send me right back to where I was. Okay, time to find some tuff. This right here should be enough tuff, and I realized that I found a lava lake down here. Hello, I'd like that back, please. Thank you. And I need to get into the nether soon, so this is definitely enough lava. I just don't have buckets on me, so... Oh, okay. I'm gonna just gather a little bit of obsidian while I'm here so that I can make a portal easily later. Eating our second to last salmon here. It is done. I went through over 2 stacks of food building out this dungeon, but I've got it. All the walls are in for our final boss room, including the tough walls themselves to kind of smooth out the shapes. And then this whole area in here leading all the way to the exit is finished. I've just got to throw some black concrete in here to block it all off, and then we need to actually make a little waterfall that'll run out there that people can exit and be, you know, the cool little RPG hidden behind the waterfall vibes. Around that time, I just need to do my little checks here and there to make sure it's all working and everything is like, I don't have any, you know, messes of shulker boxes hidden around inside the dungeon. And then I think I can invite Lizzie over and give her a little tour. By done, I mean I totally forgot to fill in all of the lava here underneath the villager drop, so we can go ahead and do that real quick here to actually say that we finished the dungeon, which I did run out into the nether and grab and filled up probably too many buckets. Okay, maybe the back exit to build up a small waterfall that goes down into the river network and just hides the back. Wrapping up the dungeon, I was able to meet up with Lizzie and we did a full walkthrough together and talked about a bunch of fun ideas we had for how to implement the different challenges and the oh so important loot featured throughout the dungeon, which will be very fun to chase down and hopefully a really good experience for the misadventurers. But it is time for the dungeon to go into the oven and cook for a while, and in the meantime I think it's time for the Road Builders Guild here to actually get a real guild hall sitting on top of the mountain. Click the like button if you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you all on the flip side where we will really transform this space.